Who did that?
Corey's.
That one over there is blinking like a disco light, so that's why we turned them off. Migraines. It's migraine inducing.
Okay. Well, since the light show is over, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll go ahead and start with attendance.
Here.
She's going to be right back.
Here.
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 Recognition of visitors. So with us today we have the mayor, Dave Clark, clerk treasurer, Lori Pontius, chief of staff, Brandy Coburn, Andy Baran from business development, city attorney, Zach Leitner, city engineer, Daryl McConnell, as well as Ann Fincham, Jim Cataract from building department, fire chief, Doug Cox, and police chief, Corey Heffelfinger. Welcome, everyone. You have the minutes from last meeting. I do want to say just briefly, there was one typo. One of the motions to table the praxis, Pete was given credit for both the motion and the second. That was changed to put the blame for the second on Eric. So after you review those, if you would please, the motion should be to accept them as corrected.
Motion to approve as corrected.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, they are approved. Oh, let's see. We have some bills to pay. The first one is for Leitner Law Firm, invoice number 1893 for March services for $1,100. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve invoice 1893 to Leitner Law Office in the amount of $1,100.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business. So at our last meeting, we did table some things based on the upcoming facade grant changes. So you should all have seen both a red line version and a clean version of the proposals, as well as the guidelines and stuff that Auburn Main Street uses. So are there any questions, concerns? Anything for either Ann or Zach?
I just want a little point of clarification on 11D. It states that funding may be requested in phases, and then 11F is the ability to request additional funding based on the project cost all at once. So is that an either or? You can either do it in phases or you can request it all at once?
It is my understanding it's an either or.
Okay.
If someone wants to do their project in phases, they could, basically that's what we have now. Do one part of their project, get approved, get it done, get reimbursed, and then start in a second phase. The other would be for somebody who has a situation where they just can't, it just doesn't make sense economically or physically to do phases.
Right. Okay.
I think it may be some, it kind of goes along with the fact that we have the maximums. So it may be some over clarification to add to keep in the language about the phases when we also have language that says they can get additional amounts throughout the course of the year or over that 5-year period. But I see what your point is. We kind of talk about it in different ways, but yeah, it's so that it's the intention was it's either or.
Do we need to make a language change to clarify that for anybody's, or can we explain that as is?
I don't know. I don't think we need to. I mean, it's honestly, that's really up to you guys. It doesn't really need to be changed. I just lost my train of thought. I had a really smart comment I was going to make. We have already done some, or allowed them to be done in phases, so it kind of puts that in there that that's an option that we are willing to entertain, along with the fact that we have the maximums throughout the year or the 5-year period. So I don't think it hurts anything to have it in there, unless anyone would like to see it changed. We can certainly do that, but I don't think it creates any conflict necessarily about, or a situation where someone's going to come up and we're going to have to revise again because someone comes with a proposal that we can't fit into one of the boxes or scenarios that we have created here. It possibly could be worded differently. I couldn't tell you how off the top of my head right now, but I don't believe that it needs to be changed to protect us from any kind of miscommunication or anything.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any concerns, comments? And Ann is here. If we have any questions, do you have any concerns that you feel like you need to address before we? Okay. If there's no other discussion, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the third amended agreement between the City of Auburn Redevelopment Commission and ADAC for the facade grants as written.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Based on that, then, we do have a facade grant application that's tabled. We need a motion to remove from the table, Zach, or can we move? Okay, so we would need a motion and a second to remove it from the table and bring it back up for discussion.
I'll make a motion to remove the facade grant application from the table.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, back on the table. This will be for the one-time grant. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up so I can look at it at the same time. For the Praxis building facade, this would be a one-time grant in the amount of $45,000 based on the fact that this is a project that's expected to be an investment of just over $200,000.
I have a couple of little questions on the detailing for the facelift, for the cost estimates. There's line 22, 23. 22 and 23 are for electrical fixtures, electrical wires, lighting, power install. Are those for exterior lighting? All interior lighting is excluded from this? Okay, thank you.
It probably wouldn't hurt if you wanted to help address.
So under the one time, the complete bid, there's a few items that would not be included or allowed, so to speak, that's in there. However, if it's broken up into phases, it clearly avoids any of that anyway. So there's enough funding being spent that it doesn't interfere with the amount that's being given. If that makes sense.
If it's broken into phases, but if it's requested
It's-
all at once, it's $200,000.
It's still over. It's just over 200,000 with those being removed. I think his total amount was 210, 350. And there were a couple of items like the flagpole, interior paint, which was only 500. And there was one other item. Oh, the
Security.
permit does not count. And he already did his design. So the design comes off of that as well. So there's a couple items there that would not be qualified, but under the one-time ask, but it doesn't interfere with the request in any way. But those were the items that were removed.
Sorry, I was just trying to do some math.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're roughly between $8,500 and $9,000 on this list that are excluded because they're not qualifying. So even if it's 9,000, the project's still at 201,000.
Mhm.
Does that make
That's
sense to anybody? We want to take time to.
Really
I can
dive
get my
it up.
calculator out and actually
I was
do
gonna
the
say, I
math.
don't know. It's not going to make the difference in that amount, but I just wanted to let you know there are a few things that we would not normally take into consideration, but it won't affect the amount of match or repay. So it's kind of a non-issue on either if it's the one-time ask or the phases. So
What happens if the one-time ask, when we actually get the invoices, is less than the 200,000? Per our agreement, it has to be at least 200,000 for 45,000 match.
we would have to adjust it.
You know, just-
Yeah, we would have to adjust it, amend it at that time if it for some reason came in less.
So if the actual costs fall below 200,000, then the grant would drop back to
Yes.
30.
Yes,
Versus 45.
correct. But that under the one-time ask, it would be a fully completed project before they received any funding from the RDC, which is a pretty secure way to do a project of the size in that nature. Plus, it would also allow the limiting factor of doing it in phases, breaking it down. They technically could go after more funding, but this would complete the project with only 45,000 from RDC money. So it's a smaller amount and it limits it. So it is, those are some considerations in that regard.
Anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments? I guess if not, then whenever you're ready, we would entertain a motion.
I'll move to pay or to approve the facade improvement program application for the Praxis.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the facade grant application from Praxis for $45,000. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other unfinished business that anyone's aware of? We'll move on to new business then. We do have a request to release the funds for what we've committed to the State Road 8 median project. I believe there was in your packet an invoice from the state of Indiana. The actual amount due on that invoice is stated $1.8 million. It's my understanding what we're being asked to approve is the 1.5 that we've committed to in our budget, and then the rest will come from other funds.
That's correct.
And I believe the last I heard, this project is slated to start August of this
End
year.
of July, 1st
Roughly?
of August. We're not real clear, but that's a rough estimated
Okay.
time frame. They were pushed back a couple months due to extending the letting period.
There was, I thought, to be one more public meeting about this project. Is that still going to happen? Did I miss that?
I don't believe there is.
Okay.
They do have a contractor that's been awarded the contract. I don't believe they've been given notice to proceed. We're
Okay.
still waiting for that. They do have a acceptable bid. They've awarded the contract. We just haven't heard of that.
Okay.
As far as beginning to start.
Do you have any details yet on what the upgrades to the median are going to be or look like?
Well, the way they incorporated those into the project was that's going to be colored stamped concrete instead of just plain concrete. It's going to resemble our downtown brick sidewalks. It's going to resemble that, but it's going to be in the form of a colored stamped concrete. That was what they recommended, and that would have been the most feasible thing. So that's what they're going with. Anywhere there's raised medians, that they're going to have colored stamped concrete in them.
Are we upgrading any of the light fixtures along the sides?
The light, all new light fixtures that'll resemble or be exactly like we did for the sidewalk project last year. You know, from Grandstaff to the railroad tracks. It'd be those exact same lights. And they are the black. They're more decorative than what is currently out there today. It would be that same light fixture.
And we've already ordered those, correct? From,
Yep.
Because our electric department is doing that work.
They will be installing.
Anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve or deny, I suppose, whatever motion you want to make.
I'll move to approve invoice number 93288 in the amount committed of $1,500,000.
I'll second.
Okay, so a motion and a second for $1.5 million for this project. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, and I've had some conversations with the fire chief about the hazmat facility project that we were supporting. There's some monies left over, and he thinks he may have a use for those. So.
I always have a need. Thank you. Good afternoon. Just to give you an update on the training facility project. So the initial commitment from the commission was $400,000. We spent a little over $351,000 on the infrastructure part of that project. With the remaining funds after that of a little over $48,000, I asked for some funding for some additional concrete work and some signage. So we got that done. With the concrete work, we were able to, the contractor, Cease Construction, was able to do some additional work for us at no charge. So we were able to put in a flammable liquids pit within that concrete base, and then also some steps going to one of our training props. The signage, we did get a sign for our gate that comes in off Cardinal Court. The other sign is a rooftop sign, which last week they were supposed to put it on the roof, but weather did not cooperate. So you have some pictures of what that sign is. That was fully donated to us. So Heitman Steel donated all the steel. The elite program out of Eastside High School did all the work on it. And then Nick Rona from James Casting did all of the powder coating for us. So that sign will look pretty awesome once it's up there. It was all donated for free. So out of that money, there's still a balance of a little over $23,000 out of that initial 400. Like Dan said, I do have some ideas for that. So 5 shipping containers would get us started on those additional props that are located in the pictures that you all have. So those containers would house some piping that would mimic what our industry currently has. So you can see from some of those pictures, it's quite intricate. So we would like to do that same thing inside those containers. So it's more of a realistic training area for our guys to work in, just what they would see when they go into those businesses.
I'll
So
just
I'm sorry.
add quickly that some of the pictures that you're seeing here were taken from a training facility in Texas.
Correct. Texas
That some of
A&M.
our guys had the opportunity to attend and came back with wonderful amount of knowledge and experience and the ability now, if we can do this kind of a project, they'll be able to share that experience and just make our fire department better trained, better equipped. I guess
better
trained.
prepared.
Yeah,
Yep.
better prepared. So.
Yeah. So those shipping containers, that project that we're looking at is $21,150. That would get us the shipping containers here, the containers themselves, and shipping.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
We did just get approval today to accept a donated 53-foot semi box trailer and some additional information on the rail car. The rail car is all cleaned, just working with the railroad to get it shipped here. So we have some things are starting to fall in place to actually see the vision that we see. So.
Anybody care to make a motion?
So we just need to
So the
move to allow them to use the additional funds.
Yeah, and I would say, yeah, we're allowing them to use the additional 23,877.09.
All right, and in that case, I'll make a motion to approve the proposed additional project for $23,877.09 to purchase the 5 shipping containers.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. And once all this is in place, I will invite you guys out for a site visit and once the weather gets warmer. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. You all should have received a copy of the scope of work from Baker Tilly. Essentially, this is what we're agreeing to for their services for the calendar year 2026. Are there any questions, concerns, or comments? If not, we would entertain a motion to either accept or deny this agreement. Anybody have any questions?
I think I got.
This is pretty standard, essentially the same agreement as what we've done the past couple of years.
Okay, in that case, I'll move to improve the scope of works proposed by Baker Tilly moving forward.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Baker Tilly scope. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. One of the things that covered underneath this scope is, of course, the annual TIF agreement, or TIF presentation rather, for 2025. You do have that information was presented. Baker Tilly will be at the city council meeting this evening, where they will present that report, which is a legislatively required report to council every year. They will present that tonight. You are all certainly welcome to come and see that if you would like to see the actual presentation of this. The current plan is for Baker Tilly to be here at our meeting in May, that we can go over this with the commission, as well as they'll make our annually required presentation to underlying districts. So if anybody has any questions and can't come tonight, I'm happy to take those because I'll be here, obviously. I'm happy to take those questions to them and report back to you. Okay. Does anybody else have anything else that would fall under new business? Okay. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, May 5th, 12 o'clock here.
I did have an announcement.
Please.
Okay. On Thursday, April 16th. I'm sorry. Is it on? Okay. On Thursday, April 16th, the DeKalb Central School Board is going to be holding a work session. We put together, we had a actual outside individual come in, Jerome McKibben, and did a demographic study. I just thought this would be important information for our community members and our redevelopment commission too, just to see what that kind of outlook is going to look like with families moving into our town over the next few years or whatnot. So you guys are all welcome to come. It's going to be at Central Office at 6:00 p.m. And it is open to the public. And we also do live stream, and those videos or that night will be recorded as well.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
14th, right?
16th.
Sorry, 16th.
Thursday, April 16th, 6:00 at Central Office.
That would be great information to have. So,
Yeah, not just for planning for schools, but I think for our community too. So.
anything else?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
That's it.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.